The Palisade is a perfect blend of value, space, and luxury. It's built on the same platform as the Kia Telluride, but style-wise, they are at opposite ends of the spectrum. The Palisade Calligraphy trim is going to feature these 20-inch wheels. Get upscale finishes throughout on the interior. Looks just beautiful. You have the space and the ride comfort to do some awesome road tripping. And then you also get 3 rows of quilted leather luxury and comfort. The Palisade is equipped with a 3.8-liter V6 with 291 horsepower. You also get an 8-speed automatic transmission that will get you from 0 to 60 in about 6.4 seconds. The all-wheel drive fuel economy is 19 in the city, 24 in the highway, with an average of 21 miles per gallon. Now, if you want a little bit more, you can get the front-wheel drive version, and that'll give you about 22 mile per gallon average. So not a huge difference. So my choice would be just get the all-wheel drive. Let's check out the cargo space. You do get a powered liftgate with the calligraphy trim. There is about 18 cubic feet of space back here. As you can see in here is a decent amount of space. And you do have a 12-volt power right here, and then you've got all your powered seats right here. We're going to drop those in just a minute, but underneath here you do have some additional storage space with your jack, so that's pretty nice there. Now let's drop this third row and see how much space we have. So all we got to do is press this button right here, drops it, press that one, and drops it back down. That is really nice. It's awesome to have powered third row seats on this. Now with this second row down, you get about 46 cubic feet of space. That's actually pretty decent. A lot of luggage could go back here. Let's see how much space we get with this second row folded down also. To drop that second row, you just got to push this button, and boom, they just drop. That's pretty awesome. Now that's going to give you 86 cubic feet of space. You could definitely get an air mattress back here and sleep back here if you needed to. Wow. This thing is huge. And now you just got to touch the button. We'll bring those third rows right back up. I have seen other vehicles with third rows that were a lot more expensive than this one not have powered third row, let alone powered third row and second row. And that's why this Palisade is one of the best 3-row SUVs for the money. You just can't get all of this stuff in something else at this price point. All right, it is time to take a look at the interior of this beautiful Hyundai Palisade. But first, if you would, go down and hit that subscribe button. That will help out a lot about getting more vehicles like ones that you may want to see. And it also helps you not miss any of the reviews on the cars that you help me bring in here. So hit that subscribe button and then join me inside. Here is your door panel. This is just fully black and some silver inside. It does actually look really good. I do like the grills on this Harman Kardon speaker system. It looks really nice. You got all of your window and door controls right here. 2-position memory seating. Everything else just looks nice in here. This isn't like super soft, but it's soft enough for your elbow. This is all soft here. This is kind of a softer material up here. I love these lines going around here. Really kind of gives it more of an upscale look. You do have about 13 or so ways to position this seat, including multiple position on your lumbar. And then you also do have the massage seating, which is awesome. It does feel really good. And this actually has a system that when you've been driving for a certain period of time, it will automatically start massaging your lumbar. It's actually pretty cool. All right, let's hop inside and check out everything else. Starting on the other side, you can see how all of this kind of blends together really well. I like the stitching and the door coming up like that. Of course, I said I like this piano black with these lines going across. I think it makes it look really stylish, really upscale. You do have a glove box. It's not very big, or if it is big, it's just got so much stuff for this Palisade in it. And you come across here, you do have a speaker up here for your Harman Kardon system. This is just a softer material, but not anything crazy, which I don't really care about the soft material up here. I know some people do in case of an accident, but really you do have airbags. It's not likely you're going to hit your head or anything on that, so why does that matter? All right, you see this does have the big panoramic dual look screen on it. It does separate screens though. You do have a separation right here. You can probably see in the camera. It's a full digital driver's display. It is very nice. And the gauges do change with your mode settings. You do have a digital speedometer in the middle, but you can change that, and you can look at your miles per gallon that you've been averaging. Like this is over 1,200 miles, or averaging about 20.4, and this is supposed to average 21, so it's just about right there. Since the last time we've gotten gas, we're averaging 21.1, and since I've started it, of course, it's just been a few minutes. So those are your options there. With your driver assistance, you do have the speed limit up in the top left corner, and it tells you what gear you're in, which we are in park right now. And then you do have an auto start stop up here at the top, and your driver assistance button right next to that lets you know that you are driving in with lane centering, or if you are on the highway driver assist, which is on the interstates, which is really nice feature and does a great job driving. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys this highway driver assist. You can see all of that across the top is all lit up. HDA. Navigation's got arrows going both directions because we can easily switch lanes. And to do that, all we're going to do is we're just going to push down once real quick. It checks, makes sure there's nothing there. Oh, I guess you got to keep your hands on the steering wheel. Okay, let's try this one more time. I'm going to press the button over, hands on the steering wheel. It's doing it on its own. I'm just barely touching it, and we are over. You can see it's still telling me to keep my hands on the wheel. That's how lightly I was holding onto that steering wheel when we moved. And we will do that one more time. And you can see in the display up there also. All right, we're going to press the over button. Got my hand just lightly touching the wheel, and it changed lanes all by itself. Pretty cool. Way to go, Hyundai. Let's go through the modes. So right now we are in comfort, and this is eco. You got snow, sport, and smart. So my favorite gauges are the sport gauges. I like the red, but most of the time we just drive in comfort here. Down at the bottom, you can see you've got your miles per gallon, and that is since you refueled. So when you refuel, it will automatically reset. And then you've got your distance to empty down on the left side corner. And also your temperature gauge. Okay. Moving back, we'll look at the steering wheel, and this steering wheel is a typical Hyundai and Kia steering wheel. They are both very similar. There might be slight differences between models, but they are basically the same steering wheel. You can see on this side, you do have your different pages, different assist things that you can do up here in the center screen. So you can have your driver assistance there. You can have the gauges that we went through with the mile per gallon and your speedometer there. You've got your directions that you can have up on the screen, tire pressure, and then back to your driver's display. Other than that, you do have your lane centering button right here, and your cruise control set here, adaptive cruise, your distance between you and the car in front of you, and then you've got your speed up, speed down, and resume. On this side, you do have stereo controls. So you've got your mode, which will flip through your stereos. You got your voice control right there, your phone, and your favorites. And then you've got your volume up and down on your stereo. Let's move on to the center display here. This is pretty standard now on standard display on the upper trims for Hyundai and Kia. This is a really nice display, works really well. I love how they do this calm screen right here. Basically just tells you the date, the time, and if you have media, if you're listening to YouTube podcast, or you're listening to Spotify or whatever, it's going to pop up right here. And you also have a small navigation, so it tells you your location, temperature, that it's daylight, and then you do have a small little triangle here for a non-existent navigation system right there. But all to wake this up is you just swipe it over, brings you to this screen here, and this has your map and your navigation, your phone projection, voice memo, climate. We go to climate. Now you can control all of these functions for your climate in here, and which is pretty nice, and you can do some automatic settings on this side. If we go back, and then you got valet mode, Hyundai Pay, passenger talk. So with the passenger talk, you have a front microphone will pick up the driver's voice and play it through the rear speakers. So that way the people clear in the back can actually hear you. That's a nice little feature to have. You do have the rear climate, so you can set that up on a different temperature if you want to. And then we'll go into setup. We've got into our vehicle, and you got all your driver assistance features. This is the calligraphy trim, so it's going to be fully loaded with all of this stuff, and you can adjust all of this just by a click of the button, which is nice. There's your driver assistance features right here. You got a lot of them: lane safety, blind spot monitoring, blind spot safety, exit safety. Now, if you haven't heard of the exit safety, it actually checks with a camera to see if anything is coming up the side of your car, so that way if you are getting out, it will light up over here and it will make a sound to notify you that someone is coming up on your side. And the way that it does that is through the cameras that they use for the blind spot monitoring. If you haven't been in a Kia or a Hyundai upper trim, then this is what you get for blind spot monitoring. You actually have a camera that looks down the side of your car on each side. So that is pretty cool, and that's how they use that exit safety. Heads-up display. Heads-up display is pretty good. It's probably really hard to see right now. I will zoom in on it so you can kind of see it a little bit, but it does have all of the information you need, including your navigation and your driver assistance. It will all be up there so you don't have to look down. You've got your cluster themes, so you can change this if you want. This is actually set to change with the drive modes, or if you, like I do, like the sport mode, I can just hit a button and flip it to the sport mode gauges, which is pretty cool. Now, this is something I hadn't seen before. This has cube, it says. I have never seen this on anyone yet. And let's hit this cube. And that is what your gauges look like now. They are little square boxes or cubes. It's pretty cool. You can set up your seat positions. The ergo motion, which is what I was talking about, it automatically starts running after a certain period of time. Third row seat back folding. You can actually fold them or unfold them from your screen right here, which is really nice. And you got somebody going into the grocery store and comes back out. They have a load of stuff, but you know you need to put the seats down. That way they don't have to push the button. You can push it up here and have the seats already folded down for them. And there's your comfortable stretch and posture assist for that. And here's your lumbar system. Every 30 minutes, the lumbar system will go off. You can set it to 60 minutes or you can just turn it off. Here's your navigation, your sound for this Harman Kardon system. So you can set up the position, the tone, guidance with this. You can turn it so it mutes or lowers the volume of the stereo during navigation whenever it's trying to give you directions. And then you also have radio noise. You can turn this on for to block out some of the background noise inside the vehicle. Let's take a look at the reverse camera. So put it in reverse, and there is your camera. You do have a 360 bird's eye view right there, which is really nice. You can adjust this backup camera. You get a little bit wide angle, and you see on each side that's coming from your 2 side mirrors or your blind spot monitoring cameras, which are pretty cool. We go to that one, and then we can go back to, this is directly behind you, but it's from above you. So it's pretty cool that they can do that. You can really see how close you get to, like me, the garage door back here. Now you can go to this, and you can go all the way around your vehicle, which is pretty nice. I like being able to see that. Look, you can even see my Ford Fusion sitting over there, which is pretty cool. So this is an awesome little system. Way more stuff than what you probably need on your car, but hey, why not? We talked about climate on inside the screen up above, but you do have all of your climate buttons right here. So you've got your auto settings, you got everything you need to do. These are touch, so you can turn the auto on, auto off on your fan. And then you have recirculate and your rear defrost right there, front defrost over here. Up here you do have some quick buttons. So you've got a power button for the main screen, map, navigation, radio, media, hazards. You got your seek and your track, and then your favorites and setup. All right, let's move back a little bit farther, and you do have your gear selector, which this is fine. I don't mind these buttons because it's just press them in. And very simple, easy to use. Some of them have a different system where you press one, pull one, press one, pull one. It's just really weird and confusing. So this is really nice, just a very easy push button. You do have auto hold on here. Here is your dial for your different modes. You have hill descent control. You can shut your auto start stop off. You do have a separate camera button right there that you can bring up at any time you need to. All right, this is also equipped with heated and cooled front seats and a heated steering wheel. Go on back, you do have a USB plug right here. And why do we have a USB plug? Because on the upper trims with this display on Hyundai and Kia both, it is a wired Android Auto Apple CarPlay system. The lower trims with the smaller screen is wireless. Not sure, still have not been able to figure that one out, but that's the way that it is. All right, and then you do have a wireless phone charging pad right down here. 2 cup holders, which are pretty nice. These are the ones that you can slide out of the way. If you don't need both of them, you can just pop them right out of the way. When you do need them, you press the button and boom, and boom. Pretty cool. All right, let's move back to this armrest right here, or center console. So it is pretty soft. It's not bad. Not real hard or anything. Feels reasonably comfortable. Bring that up, and you do have a decent amount of space down in here. You have a little tray right here you can take out of the way. It's pretty deep. That's pretty good. So you do have a 12 volt down in there, and then another USB for charging, which is where I have mine plugged in at. So then you have that little tray there to keep anything separate that you need to. So that's the front. Let's go get in the back, see how much space there is there. I'm about 6 foot, and the second row, I don't see any problem, but we'll see how that third row is, because some of these third row SUVs, it's been a little tight back there, but this one seems like there's probably enough room, but let's go find out. I am about 6 foot tall. Right now, the seat is in the easy entry position, so it is slid all the way back. Now, you can look and see that I have about 4 inches of space in front of me, which is very nice. This second row also does recline, so you can lay back and get very comfortable in here. Lots of space, lots of room. The seat does move forward and back, so you can give a little bit more room for those people in the third row. That's good. Headroom, I have a good 3 inches of headroom in here, even with these dual sunroofs, which is really nice, gives a lot of light inside here. And you're gonna need that with this all black interior. Now, why don't you guys come on in here and I will show you all the other stuff that's back here. Door's very similar to the front, except You don't get the fancy shiny metal grill on like you do in the front, and then you have a spot for a water bottle right there. Then right here you do have two more cup holders of different sizes, which is pretty interesting. So you probably could get a bottle of water in here and then maybe a coffee mug in this one. You move on up. Now here is the little shiny grill. So you get a little tiny one up here, just not down at the bottom. And just like all Hyundais, they do have the sunshade in the back, which is really nice. I'm glad that they incorporate that in every one of their vehicles. And you can see that this is very large back here. You've got two ways to get into the back. You can press this button right here or this button up here. Either one will open that up so you can get into the third row. Let's hop inside here. We have got a full climate control back here. So let's turn this on. You can set it on auto. You do have heated and ventilated seats in this second row. That is pretty nice. Let's see how well they work. You have a 115 volt household plug right there, and then you also have a 120 standard plug on this side. All right, you got temperatures all set. You can adjust this. You can do up and down, which is pretty nice. Whereas the upper one is right here, right above your head, so you can blow that right on your face. That is awesome. And then you do have one coming from underneath the seat down here to blow on your legs. You do have a USB-C on this side of the seat and one on this side of the seat to plug in your cell phone. To have a nice little pocket on the back of each one of these seats. This also has the captain's chairs in it, so you do have kind of a walkthrough right here, and it's nice. They kind of give you a little carpeted mat for somebody to be able to walk back there. And here is a quick look at the sunroof in the back. This is the second one, and there is the first one in the front. It's time. It's time to get in that back seat. So we're gonna attempt to get in this back row, see how easy it is to get back there and how much space is back there. So what we're gonna do is press this little button on top. That's gonna slide everything forward, and that does make it for an easy entry into here. So that was very easy to get up in here. That was not a problem. Let's slide this seat back, see how much room I have back here. So I set the second row seat as close as I could put it to the front one and sit and be comfortable. So my knees were about an inch away from, an inch and a half away from the driver's seat, which is set for my seating position, and got back here. So here's what we got. My knees are slightly touching, but not bad. So I am fairly comfortable sitting like this right now. The knees aren't in a bad position. I mean, I'm a little high. You can obviously see that my knees are bent really high off of the seat, but that's gonna happen when you get back into these third rows most of the time. So I do have a decent amount of room though here. So I'm just barely grazing. I can relax my legs however I want to put my legs. It's pretty good. Put my feet up under the seat a little bit and I'm good to go. I would be fine back here for a few hours, and then I would probably need to stretch my legs because probably it's more about my age than it is about the comfort in here. But anyway, yeah, decent amount back here. My head, you can actually see it's probably, yeah, about an inch or so of space above my head. So space is good. It does have this kind of a cutout right here. So this is really nice. They did a good job putting that in a good position. And let's look at some other things back here. So you do have vents above your head, so that blow right on your face, especially when you are about, 3 inches away from it. It's just blowing right in your face. But you can't adjust those. Also, you do have reclining seats back here, so you can recline back. And I'll just do it from this one so you can see it. So you can press this and it's going to recline back and forward. And then you also have heated seats back here. This has heated seats in the third row. Look, the third row has heated seats. I have been in more expensive 3-row SUVs, and I'm talking like $20,000 to $30,000 more expensive SUVs that did not have a powered 3rd row, let alone a powered 2nd row. Can you, I mean, that is nuts. And this, they definitely did not have heated seats in the 3rd row. I don't even think they reclined in the 3rd row. These recline and have heated in the back row. That is nuts. And not just regular recline, they're powered reclining seats in this 3rd row. That is just amazing. Wow. Okay, I got to get out of this back seat back here. I think it's time for you to hear a little bit about the pricing, and then we'll go take it for a drive. You can get the base Palisade SE. It's going to start at $36,650. This Calligraphy starts at $50,350. And this one that we are looking at right now with options and destination fee will come in at $53,650. So we've been driving this for a few days and I am getting really comfortable in this Palisade. You know, there's plenty of room in this thing with 3 rows. The side to side here is really nice. This space in the middle is not impeding into our personal space, if that's what you want to call it. So there's plenty of room in this car, and I just feel comfortable in here. Now, we do have a Hyundai Tucson, and it is all laid out similar to this. We don't have this bigger screen or anything like that. We don't have this stuff down here with the push buttons and all that stuff. But the steering wheel, the gauges, all of that stuff is exactly the same as what's in our Tucson. So it makes it a very easy transition to go from one to the other. Now, this being the Calligraphy trim, you do have a lot nicer materials in here. You do have this like piano black looking stuff with the gray or silver lines running around it. Just makes it look higher class in here. The quilted leather seating is very comfortable, massaging seats, multi-directional settings. And while we have just a second, let's do a 0 to 60 real quick. I will switch us to sport mode. And let's see if we can match their number. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, that's got some pull. Sounds good. There's 60. All right. Yeah, that actually was pretty nice. It did have a good amount of pull into the seat. The engine sounds really good, really smooth. That was really nice. Impressed by that. When it did get in close to 60, and I'm guessing it probably hit that probably 3rd to 4th gear, I did feel it kind of let off a little bit and then start to build the power back up. So not sure what that was there, but that's probably just a little tuning that could be done. This is not a turbo. This is just a V6, a 3.8 liter V6, I believe. 291 horsepower, which is really good. Does get this thing moving. I think they probably could have even went down to a 4-cylinder turbo, got about the same amount of horsepower, gave it a little more torque, and still been okay with this car. Maybe got a little more gas mileage out of it, because this is rated at 21 miles per gallon. That is not great. Let's switch back over here to comfort, and so we can maximize that mileage if we can. But yeah, it's very comfortable ride, very smooth, very easy to maneuver in the corners. Not a lot of body roll. I mean, at 50 or 60 miles an hour, you're not going to have very much body roll. But if you have to do some zigzagging, it doesn't feel overly top heavy or anything like that. So it's settled in really, really good. for being an ICE car. It resembles the feel of having some lower center of gravity, like you would get out of a hybrid that might have a battery in the bottom, but this does not come that way. So it's very impressive in that aspect. There are a few things that are a bit annoying, and that is that the top trim with the best infotainment screen and system they have does not have wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. And I thought that would be something that would be coming in this year's models, but nope, they're not. So maybe next year. Now, we talked earlier about the value of this car, and now that you've seen the pricing, and this calligraphy trim starts at $50,000. Now, yes, $50,000 seems like a lot of money, but in comparison to vehicles this same size, there are a lot that are more expensive than this. And as I stated earlier, they're more expensive than this and don't have everything that this has. This has powered third row and second row seats. You've got heated and cooled seats in the front and second row, and heated seats in the third row. Most of them don't have that. You've got dual sunroofs. Some don't even have that. They might have one panoramic roof that doesn't open, but this opens. So you got a plus there. The gas mileage is okay for what it is. I think there's a few things they probably could do a little bit different to get a little bit better gas mileage out of this, which would really entice buyers even more. I do love the blind spot monitoring cameras that pop up on the screen. So it's just so nice and so easy to use. And their highway driver assist functions are awesome. You get out on the interstate, you turn that on, and you can basically sit back and it will drive itself. Yes, you're supposed to still keep your hand on the wheel because it doesn't have an eye tracker to watch to make sure that you are watching the road. You still have to keep your hand on it, but it will basically drive itself on the interstate without any problems or any inputs from you. So you just have to kind of rest your hand down at the bottom and just go along for the ride. Now, it's not a whole lot different than if you turn on the lane centering on here. It's basically going to do that same thing, but the highway driver assist is actually watching things around you, the vehicles around you, giving you more alerts, more warnings. It will just automatically change the lane for you, which is an awesome function. If you've never seen that happen before, it's incredible, really cool to do. For me, personally, this is the best three-row SUV that I have tested so far. Honestly, it truly is. Mazda's CX-90 was nice, and it looked really nice in the interior and everything, but that third row is a little tight. The Lexus TX, third row, little tight. This one's got plenty of room back there, reclining seats, all of that stuff back there. This is just amazing for the money. So I would easily shell out the extra money for this if I had a family big enough for a three-row SUV. Make sure if you haven't yet, click the subscribe button down below, then click on one of these videos that's on the screen right here. One of them is one that I chose for you, and the other one is one that YouTube chose for you. I think you're going to like them both, so make sure that you do click on and watch them both. And I will see you in the next review.